This is hot, by the way. Yeah, that is hot. That is
I'm
genuinely
sorry.
hot.
You're in such trouble.
Can you start with why hello, my fellow apes? Do it.
Why, hello, my fellow apes. Let's just wait a minute.
I'm keeping these in. People like these stuff.
When other people die, it always happens to me. Okay. Yeah. Why, hello, my fellow apes. We are in Austin, Texas, at a, let's say, a food joint called Tumble 22, Nashville Hot Chicken. What is Nashville Hot Chicken? Well, in Nashville, there was this guy who was in the black neighborhood of Nashville. There was this guy that was well-known philanderer, and one of his favorite girls became a little bit annoyed at his growing reputation, and so she decided to punish him by making him some chicken that she absolutely coated, instead of in batter, she coated it in cayenne pepper, and then added some other things because she wanted to punish the guy. But unfortunately, or fortunately rather, he dug it a lot, and so did a whole lot of other people. So now in Nashville, there are a number of restaurants, starting with Prince's, which is the original guy, who took his girlfriend's revenge and turned it into a money marketing career. And other places like Hattie B's and a few others have been established based on that, and is spread all over. So now we have Nashville Hot Chicken, which can vary. It's not cayenne pepper anymore. It's usually Ghost, often Carolina Reaper. It's intense, but that's the new industry. And dining with me this evening is a fellow you know, this Rationality Rules, who challenged me because of his culinary expertise in his hometown, you know, where they eat a lot of curry on Brick Lane. So he has all of the wherewithal to make the challenge to beat me at hot food. He is a vegetarian, however, so he has a built-in escape clause because nobody makes Nashville hot fucking salad. So
It's good stuff.
the alternative is that we can both eat potatoes.
Absolutely.
So middle of the road thing.
Absolutely. We're meat in Potatoville. Let's do this. Let's get some hot food in. I'm excited. When I first said to you, let's do this, I must have been drunk. Because now that we're here, this is intense. This is intense, right? Stiff upper lip. Now the idea is, I'm going to ask you a question, or you're going to ask me a question before we eat these, okay? I'm going first. You ready?
All right, I think that may be just the dirty fries.
No, that's what the
No.
These are the wimpy fries.
Yes.
Wimpy fries. Oh, you going you going to give up after this one, yeah?
Yeah, I think I can handle
Whoa,
one
whoa,
wimpy fry.
Okay, hang on.
All right.
I want to know from you.
Yeah,
We start simple.
sure.
Is cereal soup? Is cereal soup? I want to know why. I want a philosophical dissertation. Go.
Well, I can't say that the definition requires that soup be hot because there is gazpacho and a couple of others. I can't say that it has to be cooked necessarily either, does it?
No.
No, apparently it doesn't.
So is it on record right now that you're saying that cereal is soup?
I'm going to say that it isn't because of arbitrary convention.
All right, let's do this. Is this the weakest?
Apparently it's just salt.
Fuck off.
It's red-colored salt.
This is genuinely the weakest. Okay. We're fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, how much hotter could the hottest be than the weakest?
Dang hot.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is the next one.
Yes.
You got a
Yeah.
question, or am I going to ask you a question?
I got a question.
All right.
So, on the Kalam cosmological argument, one of the many issues that I have with that, there just seems to be so much wrong with that argument. One of them being a false dichotomy, which I think you pointed out this morning. One of the arguments being that which begins to exist had a cause. Well, it just seems to be an arbitrary exclusion, doesn't it? Isn't it a special pleading thing? Because he simply says that his God didn't begin to exist. Everything but his God began to exist.
Got you.
But I don't know anyone. I don't know an atheist alive, at least not one trained in cosmology, who believes that the universe was created.
Yes.
And while every Christian out there, every Christian apologist, happily tells me that I believe we came from nothing or that everything came from nothing, I don't know anyone who actually believes that.
No.
Everyone believes that the first law of thermodynamics, that matter and energy cannot be created or destroyed. I interviewed Sean Carroll, cosmologist, who said that material, energy, and possibly universal wave function, other aspects of the universe are eternal in some sense, maybe changing states. But there was never, ever a time when there was a nothing to come from.
Yes. Well, so one of the reasons that the Kalam is sticking around so much is that there's various different ways they can defend for each of the premises. So whatever begins to exist has a cause. Then they might try and defend that with inductive generalization. And then from there, they're going to have to come down to, it really depends on the specifics of how they argue as to whether or not they special plead or what fallacies in play. But I guess what you have is where they say that whatever begins to exist has a cause, you can just say, well, give me an instance of something beginning to exist, referring to what you just said about the law of thermodynamics, conservation of energy. At which point, no one can really give you any example, because every instance we have of something beginning to exist is a rearrangement of already existing matter. Yeah, I find that you got to meet the Kalam proponent where they're at, and sometimes they don't know where they're at either. But good luck with that.
But they believe in creation ex nihilo,
Yeah.
which by admission is creation out of nothing.
Yes.
So they're accusing us of believing what they do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because they're saying, creatio ex nihilo, creation from nothing. And it's like, do I know any atheists that have that view? This is hot, by the way. Yeah, that is hot. That is
I'm
genuinely
sorry.
hot.
You're in such trouble. I think we need to move to the next one.
All right.
Let's get this over quick.
Goodness. All right. Okay, next question.
Okay, so what was this? Was wimpy hot?
Wimpy.
Wimpy? Okay. This was
Dang hot.
dang hot.
What's this one?
Did you say dang? Came close.
Yes, dying.
What's this one?
Clucking hot.
We
Clucking
can't
hot?
be already clucking this quick.
Clucking hot.
All
This is
right.
clucking hot.
Yeah.
Oh, you look worried. I'm not
I
worried.
just thought she got it out of order. I thought clucking hot was the next to last. So what's? Okay, all right.
Brilliant.
Done.
Okay. Here's the question for you.
Okay.
The world wants to know, Aron, what is the best argument for theism and why?
It would appear, in the opinion of many others besides myself, that
I want to know yours. What do you like?
the most popular, how are you going to rate this? The most popular argument for theism, let's go with that.
The one that you find more convincing than the others. I assume that they're not all bottom barrel completely.
I'm sorry, from my perspective, they are.
Okay, so would you say the watchmaker analogy is as bad as the contingency argument?
Yeah,
All right,
because
fair enough, okay.
they share such fundamental flaws that they're all non-starters. They all start at zero.
All right, fair enough, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, for
so-
me, I'd look at the complexity one and I would think, because we now know how complexity emerges naturally through natural selection, it would make that argument a bit weaker. And then in the context of some of those where we can't answer the God of the Gap questions, technically they're stronger, is where I would think.
The problem is that emergent complexity, which emergence is patterns arising from the bottom up, as opposed to being orchestrated from the top down. The problem with being orchestrated from the top down, when you have one uber galactic arbitrator who is commanding all of these things to be this way, you're losing detail. And I don't care how infinitely perfect you want to make excuses that your God is. When patterns emerge from the molecular level, they're going to be inherently, intensely complex. The numbers are going to be completely off the scale from anything we can understand. Complexity implies no designer. Complexity implies emergence. Complexity is an argument against intelligent design. The watchmaker argument is somebody who doesn't understand that rabbits are not created in a factory. They make themselves. And watches never have baby watches.
No,
It just never happens.
I don't know the last time I saw watches breed, I'll be honest. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, I'll take your answer. I'll get this hot food out the way.
Yeah, so
Ooh.
the most popular answer that I hear all the time is, I can't explain it, therefore magic. That whatever science can't explain is somehow evidence for God. The last time I had a job working in a corporate office, I was in a corporate office for 14 years, And I finally had that argument with my boss. Well, actually, my boss's boss's boss. And his argument was he's challenging me on. He's a fundamentalist Christian. He's criticizing me. He asks like the most basic level question that you would ask when you've never met an atheist and you don't know fuck all about anything about science, right? So he asked me these basic questions. I start to give an explanation. He interrupts the answer to ask me another question. I start to explain that. He interrupts the answer because he asked me another. He doesn't want to know the answer.
Yeah, or you. I mean, if you want to be maximally charitable, which is probably what you shouldn't do in this situation, he could be like going, well, I don't accept that premise. Well, I don't accept that premise. Well, I don't accept that premise. And it's like, oh, we're going to start from bedrock here then.
So, I answer his third question. I don't get to finish because he interrupts. He keeps asking another question, another question, another question. We did this 6 or 7 times until he finally asked me where the universe came from.
Okay.
And I told him, well, conceptually, there's no such thing as as where the universe came from, and since we can't test for it, excuse me, don't breathe it.
I know it's super hot. If you're struggling, you can give up right now. It's I'm okay with that. I understand.
It's in a fine powder.
If the Brit wins this,
I'm
it's okay.
talking. I'm breathing the shit in. So, but there's. I'm trying to explain that there's no. Conceptually, there's no way for us to explain something that is pure speculation. If it's pure speculation, it's not an explanation. We can't give an answer if we don't know that it is the answer, which is exactly the opposite of the religious perspective.
Well, what do you think to the idea of...
So he says, see, you come to a point where you can't answer. And I said, see, you came to a point at the very beginning where you couldn't answer the first 5 or 6 fucking questions, and you can't answer this one either. That means you were wrong. When I was right, I don't know. And you think, because I came to an I don't know, that I don't know about the rest, but I do know about the rest. And you're telling me I'm wrong about all of those rest. I'm right, and I can prove it. I got a written apology from that guy.
Really?
And I knew I'd better find another job.
Brilliant. That's good. That's progress. That's good stuff.
This is stupid.
Yes.
That was clucking.
So we went clucking to stupid now,
Yeah.
and this is going to be hot.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the other argument, the other question, damn it, why don't I have that off the top of my head? You were giving a presentation this morning.
It's probably all the heat going to your head.
And I wanted to jump in when you started bringing up William Lane Craig, even before you got to the Kalam. You were talking about a number of the other arguments. Remind me of the other arguments that you...
Oh, so this morning I was going through... I started with the ontological argument, Anselm's rendition. Then I moved on to the watchmaker analogy. Then I moved on to the argument from the genetic code, or DNA as they tend to call it.
Yeah,
then I moved to cosmological, and then to, Kalam.
Yeah, so when you talk about DNA, we know that DNA does coding.
Yes.
And in that sense, it can be completely technically, it can be considered a code for that reason. There's other ways in which it doesn't relate, because for one thing, people don't understand that we're talking about chemicals, not actual letters.
Yes.
But that's how they read it.
Yeah, and you get this from Kent Hovind to John Lennox. They speak as if it's a code, in the sense that there's like letters, and that's just absolutely not true. Yeah.
And they don't understand that each of these so-called letters does something, not just means something.
Yeah.
So there's a mechanical effect from each of these things.
It's like we symbolize what symbols are occurring to be able to understand it with because it's not like the letters that are used in the DNA in genetics are actually there. It's just a correspondence chemical, as you were saying. This is hot.
Well, I will remind you, the waiter told us that this was made with Ghost.
Yep.
No. Ghost is 1 million Scoville units.
1 million.
Yeah. Scorpion is 1.2.
Right. Okay. I'm going to tell my best. I'm going to tell my best. Oh, that's hot. Look, the worst I've ever had with the ghost pepper stuff is some idiot put it on my door handles. I didn't know, so I touch it, and somehow I touched my knob. I ended up in the shower.
Wait, you touch your knob. Is that a British slang term for?
Yeah.
Okay.
just out of nowhere, I don't know. My hand somehow got down there, touched a little. I was in the shower for 2 hours, in agony.
No.
And now you're putting it on this again.
So we have Nashville hot chicken at Prince's, the first place to do it,
Yeah.
where they rolled it in cayenne. Again, don't breathe that shit.
No, that's hot.
So they rolled it in cayenne. So I go to the bathroom, and they have a sign on the bathroom wall that says employees must wash their hands after they use the restroom. See my fingers? The sign should say customers should wash their hands before you use the restroom.
Yes, before is the
Because we
right
were on
answer.
a road trip back to Texas, and the next few hours of that trip were very uncomfortable.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm up for that.
All right, I'll give you those. I'll take these.
I get the cheese. Let's do this. All right, I've got another question for you. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized Frank Tureks or one duck-sized Frank Turek? No, wait. Yeah, 100. This pepper goes to your head. 100 duck-sized Frank Tureks or one Frank Turek-sized duck? Go.
100 duck-sized Frank Tureks. It'd be like my favorite hero is Godzilla, and I would just be wading through tall buildings. Boom, boom.
We've now got a thumbnail. Oh,
I met him. He was the first evangelist that I met, that was an evangelical apologist that I ever met. And I was enraged at his flagrant dishonesty.
oh, he's something else, isn't he?
To the point that they had to remove me from the room to calm me down.
You wanted an autograph that bad? That bad? Terrible. Terrible.
I will
stuff.
say that during the Q&A, I called him out. And when the mic came to me to ask my question, I'd make my statement or whatever, and the audience applauded. My wife got a similar response. My son following her, he also got a similar response. The guy is just a weasel.
You don't understand, Aron. If you say things loud enough and confident enough, then it must be true, okay?
Yeah, nobody knows more about everything than me.
Yeah,
says Trump.
I think Frank Turek's amazing. He knows more than astronomers on astronomy. He knows more about biology than biologists.
He showed a series of sun sizes. You know, our sun is so small compared to Betelgeuse, compared to these other suns. And he's showing how all these stars are so much bigger, and that this was his conclusion, that this proves there's a God. The fact that our sun is insignificant, that our solar system is insignificant, and not central to anything, nor the beginning of anything, in any sense, somehow proves his God.
There you go.
I got into a similar
Are
thing.
you not convinced by that?
Genesis apologetics made a similar argument for children, wherein they said that all of the evidence for evolution is actually proof of young Earth creationism. How the fuck can you even say it? The fact that everything evolves, the fact that we are taxonomically apes, the fact that we have our these ERVs connecting us to other primates, this is proof in what way that we were magically animated mud golems.
Mud golems, yes. That is funny. When they come down and they say, you believe we came from a rock, and yet what they normally believe is that we came from dirt, I don't understand why they use it as a mockery. Also, why do they do this? Okay, I've noticed this. I've noticed this with Matt Powell and Kent Hovind. They say evolution is a religion. And they say it as a diss. This is so hot. They say it as a diss, right?
That's hot?
Yeah! Right, they say it as a diss. Don't they realise that they are religious? Like, that's
There's
not
gonna
what
be
you want to do. You don't want to say that it's a diss to be religious, and yet that's what they do when it comes to evolution.
It seems as if they know.
Is your nose meant to run?
Yeah, they know, and this will, because it affects your respiratory system and everything. You will. That's how I got into hot food.
I'm salivating.
When we started making chili,
Oh.
it's like if you didn't, you were supposed to sweat, you're supposed to sniffle, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Damn, that's good.
Do you eat this for fun?
No, I eat this.
It's hot.
Now, I have done stuff that is beyond my enjoyment level. My daughter came down, wanted me to introduce me to her fiance. We had to ceremonially lock horns.
Right.
So we went to my favorite hot wings place,
Okay.
where they make a special recipe that the chef has promised me that he's only ever made for me. It's called Fallout, and it's made with so much Carolina Reaper that it's got seeds on the wings when you get it. And it's radioactive, and it's life-threatening. I've actually had existential crisis eating the stuff and then trying to make it home.
You say this as if you're proud. I worry. I'm struggling to think. That it's like, whose idea? My idea was it to say, let's try and have a conversation whilst your nose is running from the heat. Oh, I'm just trying to impress you. It's not worth it. I'm going home.
We're going to have a sequel to this video, I think, where we're going to find some other large piece of absorbent food. I'm not sure what it would be, but you're going to put a drop of that sauce
Absolutely.
on one end, and I mean one drop of that sauce. And you want the rest of that food item, let's say a pizza pie slice, to be able to absorb that because you're going to need it.
Yeah.
Eat the drop first and eat the rest immediately after to help soak it up.
That's what we're going to put on your channel.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your bit of a content. That's where you go, I killed Rationality rules. In fact, go watch it. If I died, nice knowing you. Thanks to whoever edited up this video.
And then this will be used as evidence against me.
Yes, it will. It will, and it should be. But again, I brought us. Well, I said to do this, so my fault.
I will tell you this. My lips are numb and my nose is running.
Yeah, no, yeah. Let's just. Oh, it's hot. The thing is like when you see on the shows.
One other thing.
You see the
wash
sauce.
your hands before you use the restroom.
Yeah, I don't want another ghost pepper situation, right? What you see on the shows is you see like this thick sauce being poured onto it. I'm realizing now it's just for show. It's these little bits. That's what makes this hot. Look, that looks like it's just got, I don't know, a bit of seasoning.
Yeah, but it also depends on how much you put in. I mean, when they say that it's made with, the first time I had Carolina Reaper on wings, I called the waitress back and I said, did not impress me because it's not enough.
What'd she do? Just go back and go, right,
Yeah,
we've got a challenge.
It's 2 million Scoville, and I was complaining that that's not enough. So the chef came out, and this is when I met the chef. We know each other now. But when I met the chef, he came out with this plate of wings and said, I made these for you.
That's
And he handed me my ass.
yeah, a personal gift.
I mean, fuck. I left that place. I was able to drive a mile or two down the road, maybe, and I had to pull over, and I'm putting my hands on the hood of the car, and I'm just going, whoa, just trying to remember how to breathe.
Damn. Right, another question for you. It's come to my head. What's your favourite atheist channels?
Oh man, I wish I could watch them. I'll tell you who inspired me more than anybody ever.
Yeah, go for it.
I was a young man, and I'm watching Carl Sagan's Cosmos.
Legend, Carl Sagan.
Yeah,
he's in the heart of so many of us.
I am delighted that I have met Neil deGrasse Tyson, who was a student of Sagan's. I am beyond proud that James Randi, who's a personal friend of Carl Sagan's, also referred to me as his personal friend.
Really, I'm
I mean,
jealous.
that's huge, but I never got to meet Sagan.
Yeah, Sagan he just seems so sweet and gentle and a decent human being. Just brilliant stuff.
I try not to deify people too much because I know that
Yeah.
a couple of things. I know that you never meet your heroes,
Yeah.
or you should never meet your heroes, and Sagan said that a lot.
Yeah.
And I kept wondering why. And it turned out that at the time, marijuana was regarded as criminal. It was regarded as a behavioral failure. And Sagan loved marijuana.
Really?
That's why he didn't want people to meet him.
He was a space hippie.
He gave a clue to that in one episode of The Cosmos, where he talks about the tea party for Alice and the Mad Hatter, where things are floating around and people are melting off the tables, and he says, I've been to one or two parties like that myself.
James Randi.
Yeah.
I never got the opportunity to meet him.
Sorry to say.
He seemed like a wonderful individual, and he is just, I mean, the atheist community, like most people I know that they're not even atheists, they're just into skepticism, and they just love the guy and venerate him, and he seems like he deserved it all. Like, he just seemed like such a good person.
Can I tell a bragging story?
Yeah, go for it.
I'd never met a famous person ever in my life.
Right.
So I go to the amazing meeting in Las Vegas, and a mutual connection promises that I will get to meet Randy. Now, if you'd ever gone to the amazing meeting, you can meet everybody that was there. Everybody's there. You can meet Penn and Teller. You can meet everybody. But I'm trying to get to, and she brings Randy out, and I see him. I'm excited. I'm going to go meet James Randi, and he's looking at me. expecting to meet me. He knows who I am before I get to meet him. How few people get to have that experience. My mouth is on fire.
Brilliant. Victory.
And he's watching me, and I can't get through the crowd because of all these other people that want to take a picture with me.
That's a humble brag. I love it. Wow.
And he's just stroking his beard. I've run into Randy a handful of times at a number of different conventions. I've been to his house twice.
Wow. That's so cool.
I've had dinner with the man, and I had his home phone number, and he repeatedly referred to me as his friend.
Lovely. Absolutely lovely.
I can, if I may, one other thing. I don't know what this is worth at all, but Victor Stenger also referred to me publicly as his friend. And for somebody that never got a college degree, because we're talking about like 10 years ago, I mean, somebody that never had a college education to be taking the stage between Victor Stenger and Daniel Dennett, and I'm hanging out with both of them like we're all buds.
Yeah.
That was...
Well, as an autodidact, when it comes to your knowledge on evolution and stuff, like it's genuinely really impressive. You went balls deep into that quite quick, and you know it well.
Thank you very much. But this weekend, I was on stage with Gutsit Gibbon and Jackson Wheat.
Brilliant.
And they are actual scientists.
Yep.
They're far beyond me.
Gutsit, right, is amazing. We were talking about human evolution. Fuck, this is hot. Talking about evolution. And she said about Neanderthalensis.
Do I have to have this?
Yeah, go for it.
No. Is this hot?
Yeah, it's quite hot. So, she was talking about the fact that we've got fossils of hominids with 50 cc differences in their cranium. All of like wonderful evidence for evolution by natural selection. And then I said to her that I did 23andMe as a test. That's not a plug for you. I'm not sponsored, right? And turns out I have an enormous amount of Neanderthalensis DNA. I
can see that.
Yeah. Well, she said the same. And then she said, such a lovely question. She went, can I touch the back of your head? I went, yeah. And she felt, and I've got like a dimple here. I thought it was normal. Totally not.
If nobody understands that.
Yeah.
The Homo sapiens, our species, we have more forebrain, which enables us a number of things that they're correlated largely with empathy, which may or may not be apparent, especially on Twitter. But Neanderthals had more hindbrain, and this has been more closely associated with motor function. So Homo neanderthalensis would have been like the kung fu masters to us. And it's amazing that they're extinct.
Yeah, they had the big pot on the back, didn't they? I wasn't listening, my face was on fire. But they had yeah, and so their prefrontal cortex wasn't necessarily as big as ours.
Sagittal crest is a blade across the top to which the jaw muscles attach. Neanderthals are neither Neanderthals, no species of human has that.
Okay. Yeah. So interesting. So damn interesting. All right, one more question at least. Okay. Quick one. Do you regret this?
This?
This whole thing.
Well,
you don't look like it.
I got a napkin over there to wipe my nose, so I'm all good.
Oh, yeah. All right. Which atheist has made the most impact in the last 15 years, and why?
I'm wondering why you chose that number.
Because you would have chosen Carl Sagan even though he wasn't an atheist.
He was.
Depends on how we use our definitions, right?
No, it was him.
Really?
Yeah. And I got this from Randy.
Yeah?
Yeah. Randy said, Sagan is on record as he fell into the same lie that I did. I bought the same lie. We were all told that an atheist is someone who knows there is no God.
Right, yeah, they took that definition.
So Sagan said that an atheist knows a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
But then Randy said that Sagan later realized that an atheist is not somebody who knows there is no God. It's somebody who does not believe there is a God.
Yeah, you don't find the proposition convincing. So you got both those definitions are both viable. Yeah.
And I wish I could say you could go ask Randy about this because last year maybe you could have.
Hey, I can speak to him. I can speak to the dead. I've got it. We're good.
But yeah, Randy said that Sagan later recanted that comment.
See, yeah, I see with Sagan saying about the agnosticism position. I think Neil deGrasse Tyson has bought that as well. And I can understand why.
Tyson refuses the atheist label, but he has agreed that it applies to him. That the meaning of the word applies to him, but he technically is an atheist, but he does not like to be, he doesn't want to call himself an atheist.
I respect that.
And what he told me is that he does not want to be associated with certain YouTube atheists.
I understand it, yeah.
And I got the implication, I think, that he was not talking about me. I don't think he was talking about me, but there were, at the time when I met him, there were plenty of other people.
Oh, I know some of the names.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drop them, but yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Because the label is defined by the communities that people see, right?
Yep.
That's fair. We've had some good questions. It's been good.
Since we're talking about labels just for a moment, I've been accused of being a Satanist my whole life.
You do look the part.
I do.
Yeah.
I do it on purpose.
Yeah, don't blame you.
So you get just so irritated at being accused of something for so long, you're just like, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, but technically, I am.
You are a Satanist.
Yes, technically.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, because the Satanic Temple has done brilliant work in defense of the First Amendment with the presentation of the Baphomet statue whenever they want to set up a 10 Commandments at a courthouse, when fighting Texas over abortion law on religious grounds, things that mere atheists cannot do.
It's genius.
Yes. So I supported the Satanic Temple by sending $25 donation, which gives me a membership card. So by pure technicality, I have finally become what I've always been accused of being.
Yes.
But this does not mean that I have now or ever did worship a devil.
No, you're a member of something. It's a bit like a lot of people that go to church. They're Christian, but they're not Christian. They don't believe it anymore. but they really enjoy the music and the events, and they're feeling good.
Yeah, Madeleine Murray O'Hare had something to say about the way that atheists define themselves. She acknowledged, as many other people do, that most atheists don't call themselves atheists. Most atheists don't know there are atheists. We have an atheist minister who identifies as Methodist in Austin.
Now, see, this sounds like the entire Jewish community. Basically,
doesn't
atheists.
it?
Yeah.
Not the entire.
No.
But I know quite a few.
Yeah,
See,
it's so secular that it's basically...
Yeah. So she
All right,
said...
Fair enough.
She said that most atheists are sitting in church pews, having no idea that the A word even applies to them.
Wow.
I've had my own friends, some of my own friends tell me, just because I'm atheist doesn't mean, just because I don't believe in God doesn't mean I'm atheist.
Oh, you've had that?
Yeah.
We live in different worlds. We live in different worlds. Amazing. Oh, God, goodness.
This is not hot.
No, this is chilled compared to that one. That one was hot.
I spilled my beer.
That's because you're losing so bad.
Tune in for the One Drop Challenge, where we will be at Thomas Westbrook's house, and we are going to see whoever else, Eric Murphy, wants to take a drop of the stuff that Eric Murphy gave me.
Yes. Good. Eric Murphy taking a drop. I'm there. I'm doing it. That's going to be a short, painful video. Head over there. It's going to be insane. This has been nice. It's been pleasant. But it has been hot. But I can breathe out my nose well now.